Hello everyone, welcome to Logic Church. We should finally be good. Having a few little issues, and I do have a cold. So, thank you for your patience. But I'm on the back end of a cold, so it's not that bad. But I do Logic Church on Fridays, so I'm not going to miss that. All right. I want to do that gradually, but that's okay. Hello everyone, welcome to Logic Church. How was your week? I hope your week was good. And I hope that you were able to do everything you set out to do. And that everyone had a wonderful week. To that, I cheers to you. Cheers. I thought I was ready to have a few beers, but I'm having a very hard time getting through this one. My glass here is a very special glass. This glass is hand blown in Okinawa. Very special design with these bubbles that fill it. Some of the paint you see is inside the glass, some is outside. It's a very beautiful design, and I thought I would share it with you. I just got it. I had one before, and I brought it home with me from Japan, from when I had visited Okinawa. And as I was washing it, it crumbled to pieces in my hand, and I got a really deep cut. I was washing it, maybe too much of a grip. Maybe it got a little crack somewhere from being in my suitcase as I was traveling. But I got this one. It's a nice little cup, and my intent was to use it for drinking beer here on Logic Church. So, get some cool close-ups. Yeah, check that out. I'm drinking India Pale beer. It's quite delicious. This is the rest of the beer that's in here. I finished about half of it. It's pretty yummy. Hello, Jordy. Welcome to the chat. How are you, my friend? Showing off my Okinawa hand-blown glass to folks. Well, So, like I mentioned, I was sick this week, and even though I was sick, I got all the things that I needed to do done. You know, I really made it happen. And I'm really proud of myself that I was able to push through and to do those hard things, even though I felt bad at the time. And I just want to give myself a pat on the back. Even though I was having a hard time and I was very low energy, I took care of everything I needed to do for my business, and I'd say I did a good job. So, at least, cheers to that. And that's true, that sometimes we have a hard time and things don't go the way that we want. And many times these things are outside of our control. And since they are outside of our control, we can't feel bad when things don't go our way. And we must remember that the things that we did do that we could control is all we really needed to do. And the results are not necessarily the most important thing. It is the effort you put in. And if things don't go your way in life, during this past week for me, with the cold that I had, if you do the things that you do have control over, then that creates opportunities for you to maybe find a way to control the uncontrollable. There are often things that we must accept that we do not control. But when there is a will, there most certainly is a way. And I can cheers to that. Looks like I got some strange bots in my chat. Well, welcome, robot friends. What's it like to be a robot? Swimming in a vast sea of electricity. What's it like? So, that being said, I do encourage everyone to also take a moment to rest. Though there are things that we must do, that we have to take care of, if you have often done what you could and did many things to accomplish something, you must take a moment to relax, a moment to heal your mind, your body, to learn something new, to understand something new about yourself, about the world, about people or life. Something we can only do while our mind is at peace and calm and relaxed. So it is so that in all of our lives we must find a space where the mind can rest, where it can be at peace, and reflect upon itself like a face in the mirror, deeply seeing into itself the aspects of its own image, where the self becomes understood. And to that, I cheered that we understand that and take a moment to heal and to build one's strength, which comes through understanding oneself. Often there are things that we want, but we don't know that we want them. We haven't sat down and thought through what do we want and why. The why is the most important. Because if you do not know why you want something, then what good is it for you? What motivation do you have to chase after that thing if you don't know why? It's like walking through a forest with a blindfold. The best you can do is to know yourself so that you can remove the blindfold. But many walk through the dark forest in the nightmare and do not remove the blindfold. And owes them, as their fate is a chaotic path of twisting and turning and looping directions where they never reach where they intended, merely because they didn't know why they wanted to go to begin with. So I hope that you have seen. Why? Why you want to pursue a path. Why you want to chase something. And in doing so, you may see your path clearly and be plentiful with motivation to reach that path, the goal of the path. Wonderful. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Just a tiny bit congested right now. I think I can get away with one beer, so should be good. Been sick since Sunday evening. I actually woke up in the morning and I thought, man, I don't feel quite right, and I don't know what that is. So I got dressed, I got packed up, and I hopped on my bike and I went for a 10-mile bike ride. I thought, I've been cooped up. I need to get out and I need to exercise. And I was out of coffee, so I thought, drive by a 7-Eleven, get myself a coffee. Maybe that'll cheer me up, perk me up a bit. It did. It did. And I was feeling great. Once again, listening to some of the music I made, holding my bike by the part at the front, not the handle, but the middle part, so it like glides along really nicely. I was walking up a hill, I was listening to music, drinking my coffee, and then when I finished it, it was just about as I got to the top of the hill. Half of the trip home was going to be downhill, and I was a little worried because it had been years since I rode my bike down this road. I didn't know what the road was going to look like, and I could have just abandoned the whole idea and just continued to walk, but I put my courage cap on and I went riding down the hill, and I dodged a couple of potholes. There was a couple of risky situations, cruising by a car too, where a car was parked on the bike lane area. People forget about that. I don't know why cops don't stop those guys. But I mean, it's not like people are riding their bikes every day down that way. So I went all the way down, and that was some of the most fun I've had in quite a while. It was terrifying, but also exhilarating, and I had a lot of fun, even though it was quite dangerous, really. But I survived, and I got home, and I was feeling really good after that. I was feeling great. And then later in the evening, for some reason, I just started getting really hot. I started getting a fever. And yeah, and then all night just tossing and turning in my bed. You can see my bed right here. This is where the action happens. And like every 2 to 3 hours, I was waking up and falling asleep, going back and forth between fever and chills. It's quite an experience. Hello, Jim. How are you, my friend? This is my glass from Okinawa. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I noticed that. I believe they're gone now, though. I don't know what that's about. Ver Life? Vom Red? I wonder what that's about. What's it like to be a bot? Who knows? Never been a bot before. Hello, friend. Obliviously aware. Well, Jim and our friend who just popped in, obliviously aware, how was your week? And how are you this evening? And happy Friday to both of you. Nice. I'm about to finish my first beer. Like I mentioned, I'm coming off a cold. I'm at the end portion of that whole experience, and I had a little a monologue that I gave. Even though I was sick, I was able to get everything done this week that I needed to. Quite proud of that. So I hope everybody is good, and to that, I cheers to you. That I understand completely. It's very sad because Friday evening is the farthest from Monday morning, which means it's high time to party on, I believe, and to get all that stress out, or just relax, put your feet up, grab yourself a water, a tea, beer if you have it, and just chill. And that's what we do here. We just chill out and relax and talk about cool shit. Cheers, guys. Oh, that's good. Yes, that can happen where we're so busy in our lives with our work, with our family, with our boyfriend or girlfriend, if you know what I'm saying, or other things in our lives. And we don't always have time to connect. And so, when we can, when the universe grants us a moment of rest and relaxation, take advantage of it, connect with a friend, read a book about something you want to know about, or listen to a song that inspires you. Create something, draw a piece of art, play music, whatever you feel passionate about. I keep forgetting I have the chat on my screen now. Great. Oh, that's too bad. Always sad when we do reconnect. It's over something unfortunate. Yeah, always thought it would be all right to be put in a home. Like, that it would be nice for people to kind of take care of you and bring you food and do little exercise classes and whatnot. I'm not really happy about the location of that. Let's see. But it turns out that a lot of these organizations are kind of crummy. And that is very unfortunate. Sounds like they exploit their people a little bit. But, you know, everybody's got to make money in some way. Let's hope it's a nice way to make money and not fooling people in a bad way, that people do things that are actually good for people. That's true, Jim. It's very true. We get old, we wear out, and I do too. I'm 33. I'm working my way up there. And it's true, like over time, we wear out. But that's okay, because if birth is good, so is passing on. Part of the ebb and flow of the universe. And you gotta believe in something, that it's gonna be okay. Because we just don't have enough information to know precisely what's going on. But we do know that all matter is just changed again and again and again in an endless loop, a cycle of recycling the energy of the matter in which it encompass, and all becomes forever into something. And it's very beautiful, I believe. Wonderful. All right. All right, I'm going to cheers here in a second. So if you have your glass, oh, let's wait for Jim to come back, then we'll cheers. Strange. Let me see if I'm coming out here. So if you have your glass, oh, yeah, audio's coming out. So we should be good on that. Let me know, Jim, and we'll do a cheers. All right. Then why not? Let's do a cheers. Cheers to you, Jim. Cheers to Logic Church. And may this coming week and this weekend be fantastic. I hear it's Super Bowl Sunday, so cheers. Great. All right, I don't think I need my tablet anymore since I now have this chat right here on my screen. So I'm going to close that. Yeah, and this morning I woke up very early too, so I'm a little bit more tired than I normally might be by this time. Yeah, one thing that I wanted to talk about was harmony, which is the title of the stream. And it's important to understand that even though in our society it's a virtue to be self-centered, it's foolish to think that we alone are all that we need, and that if we work together, whenever you work together, like truly work together, not be a part of a team. Not a team. Teams are not working together. Working together is where you have empathy for the person that you're doing something with, and you both bounce off of each other with ideas, with understanding of each other. You don't delegate titles, positions. You have a goal, and together you find a way that you can collaborate to do that. That's right. Many teams you might think have synergy, but you'll have somebody who steps up and I'm the leader now kind of a thing, and they'll start telling people what to do. And you'll notice quickly, some people like that because it takes the onus of responsibility away from them. And other people give up. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be told what to do. So they back away. That's one way of doing things. And it works poorly. The best way for people to work together is to care first. If you do not have compassion for the people you're doing something with, in this short time that you're here, then to what purpose does it make for you to reach the goal anyway? And the path to reach the goal will be much farther away. I'm glad you got your phone fixed there, Jim. Wonderful. But we can get there sooner if our minds and our hearts are invested in what we're doing. If you're not invested in what you're doing, are you going to do your best work? Are you going to put your everything into it? And are you going to put your full self into something that if it's not a goal that you have in mind for yourself, that's a great question. And the answer is no, you won't. No. Because there's such a thing as wasting time. And you can always change teams. You can always find someone else, another team to work with. And to that, I cheers to everybody. Cheers. So, I've been thinking more and more about the importance of exercise. And our lives really insulate us in a way that you wouldn't be happy. You're not going to feel good and you wouldn't be happy if you just stayed inside all the time. You need to move. Your body was made to move. That's good, Jim. I've always respected the people who work at like the little drive-through convenience stores and stuff like that. I always thought that was a cool job. Just chill. Wearing a mask every day, though, that can be very difficult to handle and very frustrating, I believe. But I said but. But you get to meet a lot of people, and that can be fun. I begin to wonder if compassion is a intelligence test. Yeah, I know, it's such a drag, right? And who knows, maybe I just had COVID, so I'm all good to go. I'm gonna grab another beer from the counter over here, and I'll be back in a jiffy. A jiffy, but no lube. Haha. Okay, sorry, no more jokes. All right. Whoa. We're all tangled up here, guys. Tangled up in my web of cords. All right. Okay, I think we're in good shape again. All right, time to fill her up. Cool. I want to show you guys something. I have something to show you guys. Take a peek at this. I don't know if it's okay to. This is my my pipe, which is pretty cool, I think. Check this out. Only used with CBD, but it's pretty cool. It's true. Compassion is complex, but is it though? And the reason why I say that is because It is the action of seeing yourself in someone else. So, obliviously aware. Ooh, filled with snow. That would be fantastic. I would love to do that. So, for example, have you ever accidentally hurt someone before? Like step on somebody's toe, or accidentally trip somebody, or something like that. Or like stepped on your cat on accident or something. And do you remember that feeling you had? Like, oh shit, like, oh, I'm sorry. That feeling in your chest. That you could almost feel the pain of the other person. We also do that when it comes to the state that someone else is in. So if you have a coworker who is just really, really buried, but you're doing great. Let's say you're kicking butt at work. And you're just doing really great. And your coworker is just buried alive. And they're struggling and they're having a really hard time. But it's not your responsibility to help them. They have to do it, unfortunately. And all you can do is watch. In that case, you feel bad for them, like, because you know what it feels like to have everything done. Like, oh, it feels so good to have it done. But then they're behind. And you look at them and you wish that they could feel that way. That they would have access to that feeling of completion and the safety. You got it, Carpo. How's the microphone, guys? Hope that's a little bit better. And that's really important, that we recognize that we are experiencing these things. Because what we'll do is these things will happen and we'll feel them. And we just dismiss it. Like, oh, it's just a thing that happens. These, you know. But we don't philosophize about it. Where these things are philosophy. Hello, Cedar. Welcome. Sounds good, Carpo. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to let people toil in the mud a bit and find their way out. And actually, that's my favorite way to learn. My favorite way to learn is to think a little, plan a little, and then dive right head first in. I want to make mistakes. I want to mess up. And that's something that bothers people, because most people believe that perfection and not making mistakes is important. When, if you make a mistake, you have the opportunity to learn. And if you don't make mistakes, then you're never learning. And people like to believe that learning is something you do before you do. But it's not. It's constantly happening. So learning is good, and if learning is good, then it is always good, even when you make a mistake. Showing off my beautiful Okinawan glass. By the way, guys, cheers to everybody here. And we'll continue here in just a moment. Cool. Well, one thing I will say is we actually have quite a few people watching, but the viewer count stays at 1. A little bit of suppression there. I'm not one of those crazy conspiracy theory guys, but perhaps I am. Alright, let's check out these comments. If you seek to aid everyone that suffers in the galaxy, ooh, and that's a very long ways to go, you will only weaken yourself and weaken them. It is the internal struggles, when fought and won on their own, that yield the strongest reward. That is true. However, we have a secret weapon: philosophy. By sharing philosophy, like I am right now, it gives you a sword to slay the dragon. That's what philosophy is for. To bring your mind peace, to bring your mind insight, to bring your mind contentment and direction, so that you can slay the dragon of life. And those who struggle usually struggle also with philosophy. Correlation, not cause? But in experience, fairly true. If you care for others, so reading Obliviously Aware's comment again here, if you care for others, then dispense with pity and sacrifice and recognize the value in letting them fight their own battles. Yeah, absolutely. But, so I mean to say, using compassion as a tool, in that since we have that propensity, using it as a tool when we do something together. So that we can help each other. And not always just be one person fighting the battle here and there, because if we fight together, much easier to slay the dragon, methinks. And I think that's true. Wow, that's a great fact, Jim. Aircrafts are off course over 90% of the time, but they still get where they're going. Oh man. Hey, if that doesn't help you sleep at night. If it doesn't help you sleep at night, I don't know what will. That's very beautiful. In life, we get where we're going. Cheers, guys. This is a little bit bright, isn't it? I'm going to turn her down. All right. What else would I like to talk about tonight? It's starting to get warmer again. Snow is starting to melt. The bears are coming out of their caves. And I feel that too in my life. If it was not for the fact that I was sick this week, I would be crawling out of my cave too. And so, cheers to the weather changing out there. And with this change of the seasons, we change too. The weather has a big impact on how we feel in our lives. If it's really hot, you might feel exhausted. And if it's really cold, you might feel exhausted. But the weather's starting to be just right. And we should start thinking about how we want to use that energy. What are we going to do with that energy? Are we going to let it go to waste? Don't let it go to waste. Next week, I will be releasing a full album of my music. Always for fun, always just singing and enjoying myself. But I've got 7 songs. I'm about to finish number 8 after the stream tonight. And I think it's time to release the album. And I've been working on that for the last 4 months. So I'm excited about that. Thank you, Jen. Okinawa makes the most beautiful glass. I have another one too that's like this, but it's orange and red instead of blue. The blue looks really good, especially right now with the waves up there, right? All right. So take that energy from the change of the weather right now. Think about what you want to accomplish. What goal do you want to reach in your life? And take steps. Create a plan. Go for it. I'll help you. I'll help you if I can. Whatever your plan is, whatever your goal is. If I can help, I will. And I hope you do the same. In Okinawa, my favorite food is Okinawan soba. After eating Okinawan soba, I've never been able to eat ramen again and truly enjoy ramen. Because Okinawan soba is the best, honestly. All right. We're filling up again. As I fill up on philosophy, our beer fills as well. Oh, great. I hear that so commonly because I speak Japanese. I'm fluent in Japanese. I hear that very commonly about sailors and stuff like that, missionaries and whatnot, people being born there. Yeah, pretty bad for you. These days, all I can do is eat meat and veggies. I'm getting old, boys. I'm getting old, guys. I gotta eat healthy. but we'll show this glass off a tiny bit there. You can see like the bubbles in there. Yeah, pretty cool. So next week I will be releasing an album, and I'm gonna start teaching again. So I'm gonna get that sorted away. Teaching Japanese privately, and also maybe some substitute teaching since I have a master's degree. I'm wondering, what is everyone's dream? Tell me your dream. What is your dream? What would you like to become or do? Isn't that something that nobody has asked you since you were a little kid? Well, why not? Why not? What would you like to be? Interesting. That goes to show that there's something to learn from everyone. Everyone, if you listen, everyone has something to teach you. You have something to learn from everyone. And no one is valueless. Everyone has value and something to teach you. So open your ears. Open your ears. And I'll cheers to that. Cheers to everybody watching, obliviously aware, and Jen, and the viewers who just popped in. Yeah, everybody needs their special meditative space. Where is yours? This room that I'm in, this is the factory. This is where I create art. This is where I design, I create music, and I explore philosophy and who I am. And actually, on that note, I'm gonna go grab my guitar, and if you guys can hear it, I might play you a song. Wow. First, I'm gonna check out the comments here. Megastructure engineer. That's pretty fucking cool, is it not? Building space elevators and orbital rings and O'Neill cylinders. Wow. I do hope that you keep me updated on that. By the way, I'm going to share our Discord with you guys again. Soon, you guys are welcome to come in and chat with me if you would like. But I'm going to share this so you guys can join if you do have Discord. Out of curiosity, tell me if you guys can actually hear the guitar and if it has a decent sound. Let me know how that sounds. I know that we have this other overlay here, I can always turn that down. It's great. So when I was a little boy, there was a tire swing right outside my window here. And I would go out and I would sit on the tire swing, not swinging, not swaying. Yeah, because this is a vocal mic, you guys probably can't hear it, so maybe I won't play tonight. I'll have to buy another microphone for that. But when I was a little boy, I would sit there. Maybe I'll just give it a shot anyway since I have it on, but let me share my story. So I would sit there on the tire swing, and I would sit there for hours. 1 hour would go by, 2 hours would go by, 3 hours. And I had no idea what I was doing. But I would sit there, my eyes shut, listening to the sound of the birds, to the sound of the wind as it blew by me. And I became one with everything. Not necessarily permanently. But I found meditation when I was 8. And I had no idea what I was doing or, anything like that. I just knew that it felt good and that I was somehow connecting with something. And I didn't know what. I didn't know what it was or why. But it was like sitting next to God kind of thing. And my parents used to make fun of me. They used to say, "Oh, Andrew's going outside to speak with the angels." Oh. But I was just enjoying the solitude. And in the end, solitude is a very solid friend. That being said, cheers to everybody who's watching. If you have a drink, water, tea, beer, whatever it might be, cheers to you. Hope you cheers as well. Cling. Well, let me move my beautiful Okinawan cup. I was working on this earlier. What do you guys think about that riff? I think it's pretty sweet. Ba-da-da, dun-dun. So the most important thing is that you find a place of meditation. Oh, Lucky Frank's here. Glad you like it, man. I got some like kind of vocals I want to do with it too. I haven't written anything yet, but na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Something like that. Yeah, I think it's a nice start of a cool song. You notice I did a little bit of a different thing there. So that's how I write. So let me teach you guys a little bit about art, unless you know a little bit, and then let me see if I can add something. So when I create music, it starts with one thing. In this case, I started with this. Let's see if I can tilt this a little bit. You can see it a little bit better. Oh, maybe a little bit more. Ooh. Now the microphone's blocking it. Anyway, it was a little bit of a slide chord. I slid it, and then I just wrote it over. And actually, I was playing something else before. I was like doing something like, and then I'm like, that's a little bit too crazy. And then I'm like, oh man, that's jiving. That's jiving. I love that shit. So I was like, let's do that. Yeah. And then what else can I do? What can I do after that? I like that. Can I make a song out of that? So, and then like, oh, there we go. And then I just started doing some basic singing along with it. Like, okay, right? And then I'm like, okay, where does that go? At that point, I can start thinking about, where do I want the melody to go? And then, of course, the tendency is to want it to go up, right? In this case, so. And then, blammo! I knew I had something. And great, so we got ourselves a verse. Yeah, and then when I plug it in, I usually do more like, I usually ride it up a little bit, give a little distortion or something like that. And then I found this. On accident. I was playing that and I'm like, you got to do something with it. So when I write music, I just try things. And sometimes it won't sound good, but also everything you know about sound and playing your guitar, it kind of comes out. So you learn your instrument and you just let it come out. You don't control. You follow your intuition. Your intuition helps you to find the next thing. And I really believe that's how real art is made. Not just, following the book. All right, I'm gonna put her down. There goes Betsy. my guitar's name? Betsy. Cheers to you guys. Alright, let's check out these comments. Is good, yeah. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that very much, and Obliviously Aware. And Lucky Frank. We'll see what happens with that. And like I said, I'm releasing an album this week, so you'll have to check that out. Cool. Jim, send me some poetry, bro. I'd be happy to make a song with some of your poetry and credit you. Yeah, I tried doing synthesizer music. It's not for me. I really gotta hold and play the instrument, otherwise I don't get that. I don't get a feeling of contentment because I'm not, it's like it's not coming out of my spirit, it's coming out of the robot, you know? The robot makes the music. And that's partly why our music these days is just not up to par with what I like. Because it lacks that human aspect. And I need humanity in my sound. When you pick up a guitar and you play your guitar, imagine, for example, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix blows people away, right? He's truly amazing. And do you think any music today could possibly be even close to Jimi Hendrix? No way, right? And that's because his whole being is thrusted into what he's doing. Have you ever been to a really good live performance before? And you see the person on stage, especially look at the guitarist. Usually, it's almost like they're possessed. And they're fully alive. And pulling upon that. It's very beautiful. And I wish we had more of that in modern music. So I'm hoping I can bring the fire. The fire. What is, Obliviously Aware, what is Ableton? Oh, cool. My dad was close friends with the guy who created the microchip for the first synthesizer. The beginning of the end. Don't get me wrong, like when I'm going for a run or I'm biking and I'm listening to like some house music or something, oh boy, I mean, it's full of energy, but it's almost inhuman. But when you're running, you almost want to feel inhuman, right? Adab, what? Cheers, guys. Taking my time with the second beer. Carpa says he's going to come back and chill here in a bit. That'd be cool. Carpa's my boy. I'm actually feeling a lot better. Beer is going down pretty well. I was worried I wouldn't be able to enjoy it after dealing with the cold and all that, but I'm actually doing pretty well. Great. So, guys, this is a philosophy live stream, and I want to invite you guys to ask your questions. I've been I've been reading your comments and responding and all that. I have an infinite number of dialogues that I can go through, but I care about you guys. I want to see what you want to know. If you have a quandary, let us quander about. Yeah. Well, the thing is, apply yourself to what and to why. And that was one thing that I talked about tonight. For example, very obviously, I am extremely passionate about music. And I don't need to force myself to make music. I don't need to force myself to play my guitar or to sing. I just do. And so, because I know why, because I experience the sensation I do when I'm doing that. So what is it that you're not applying yourself to? Yeah, Depeche Mode. But all those, that's true, all those examples, they have several aspects that are not electronic. So I think electronics as an atmospheric addition is very good and important. I just don't like it as the main dish. Call me, a stickler about these things, or I must be too sophisticated, but I believe the humans need to do their part in the creation of sound. Just as it was around the campfire, beating the drums, dancing and singing, clicking and clacking, striking strings. Cheers, guys. I can play harmonica. I tried harmonica very seriously. I can't get a sound out of harmonica that doesn't sound anything like country music. So I'm like, maybe not the right instrument for me. That's true. I use FL Studio a lot and GarageBand. That's how I do a lot of my stuff. Banjo can be good, but it's not quite hardcore enough for me. I've been playing guitar all my life. I'll stick with guitar. Yeah. And yeah, well, the thing is, no matter what you do in life, it should be for fun. So it should be something that you find enjoyable. You should never work like a slave doing something you don't care about. So, but everyone can find something that they do have that passion about, that does contribute to society. So you should endeavor to find that. I've always been a fan of like David Bowie and Mark Bolan of T-Rex, and a lot of these 70s guys. And, I started listening to Jimi Hendrix licks, and I just started playing along with Jimi Hendrix. I didn't know what I was doing. I had this cheap Yamaha guitar. I was 17 years old. And I just started trying to play along with it somehow. And I started to develop. I've never had a guitar lesson. I just began to learn what a guitar can do and where sounds go. I don't know keys. I don't know like what things are called, and I don't need to. You know, I just play music. Oh, yeah, xylophone is pretty badass, you have to admit. That is quite an instrument. Yeah, you should. Play something different. I saw this video of this girl. She looked like she was falling on hard times, maybe because of meth or something like that. But she was playing spoons, and holy bejeebus, she could play the shit out of those spoons. Let me tell you. Beer's coming along here. Oh, society would collapse. Yeah. So, I'm actually an anti-societyist. So, I don't really believe that society really offers anything to us that we really need. And I think anything that you could say that we really need, like jobs, that is, that are kind of undesirable jobs, we could get rid of on the basis that their necessity comes from the bad things of society that make society bad, and that we don't need those things, like trash, like garbage men. We don't necessarily need roads and all these things. Perhaps we need them to some extent, but I walk and I ride my bike. Do we need to be economically powerful? Does the world need to be? I would say we need to be more in symbiosis with the power of nature. What human beings need is, we need food, we need water, we need shelter, some comfort, some love, maybe even compassion. But all in all, what we truly need is each other, and in society, we don't have that. The thing we need most, each other, we don't have. We're so separated. Potash. I wonder what that is. Potash. Yeah. Another thing is, power is an illusion. Power consists and exists on the basis that we believe that somebody has it. Please explain to me what power is. Power is the capacity to coerce, right? But the capacity to coerce is based upon Google Eat. Oblivious Aware, you were pretty cool. I like you, man. I like you, man. Capacity to coerce is only and reliant upon you wanting something from the coercer. But if you don't want anything from the coercer, then they don't have power, do they? So it's merely an illusion, a fantasy, if you will. So I'll sit down with my boss. I've had several bosses before, believe it or not. And I'll sit there with them in a room, usually alone, because that's how this story goes. And they insist on the fact that they are in charge. And they'll ask me to change something that I'm doing. So, having a title, making more money, doesn't justify wisdom. Wisdom exists outside of society. Wisdom exists as a culmination of truths, a culmination of understanding, study, and knowing. That could take decades. And they'll ask me to change something. And so I'll tell them why I'm doing it logically. Here's the logical reason why I'm doing this the way that I am. And they'll tell me to change it. But I'll insist. I'll insist. If you would like me to do it your way, you have to explain to me why. You have to imagine from a position of control and power how much that must upset you. And my intention was not to upset them, but to have a basis for my action. I need to know. I cannot dive pointlessly in a direction without knowing where I'm going, because I know the suffering and the pain and the confusion of walking through the forest with a blindfold. I have no intention of doing that. So I insist. And surprisingly, every boss I've ever had has failed in justifying what they believe I should do, but they still believe I should do it. And after repeating and rinsing, after rinsing and repeating a similar situation over and over again, I realized that leaders, if you might call, I would never call people of power leaders. They're more like controllers, if anything. I realized that the people who run things have no idea what is going on, and they're just trying to get people to do things that they think will make money, which is fine. But that's interesting too, like, you should be able to explain why this thing is going to make more money, and not feel like you can't even say that. Like, they're greedy, but they can't even admit that they're greedy and say that, I just think you should do this because it's going to make more money. And explain why, which is weird, right? You'd think they would be able to do that, especially with it being related to greed. That's okay. I love them and I forgive them because they know not what they do. Hey, that's one thing Jesus got right. Nice, Jim. You know what? The boss needs to be pushed around a bit too. Probably the worst bosses I've had are females. I don't know why. It's like they don't understand. They think being a boss means to treat people badly, which is weird. But we're going to leave that for another day. I'm not going to get into that. Women haven't been bosses evolutionarily very long. So they have a lot to learn. Men have been the bosses for millennia. So maybe know a little bit more, maybe perhaps, maybe ingrained in the DNA, if you will. That's true. And in female workplaces, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to mention it again, but yeah, these pointless meetings, when it comes down to the fact that if we have something to do and we have a goal, what can each person do to contribute to that? But these meetings come down to like strange sitting here and hanging out and let's reach the goal. We all have short lives. Let's not waste it sitting here in chairs and not getting anywhere with a discussion. I believe we've accomplished more in this stream than 1,000 corporate meetings. I do think so. Great, so at this time, I have two things I'd like to do. I'd like to cheers to everybody who's watching. We got 4 people watching, so I cheers to everybody. Appreciate you all for being here. And also, I'd like to invite you to ask any questions you might have. So I cheers to everybody. Cheers. And at this time, I ask everybody to hang out and be patient. I'm going to use the gentleman's facility for a moment, but I'm going to be back very quickly. And you have the chat where you can type stuff and ask me questions that I can respond to when I get back to keep you occupied. I encourage you to get a glass of water, tea, beer, whatever is your fancy. Sit back in a nice chair or lay down in bed. Get comfortable, and we'll be right back here with Logic Church. See you in a moment. Nice. Okay, guys, I'm back. Welcome back to Logic Church. Cheers. Mentally trying to move something. Ooh, mentally trying to move something. How'd you do? What'd you move? Oh shit, oh shit, that doesn't look like where I left it. Oh, yeah. Right on. I'm gonna open up our Discord. Our Discord here. Anybody who would like to talk at this point of the show can. And I will join you for a discussion if you join the Hangout and Talk portion of the Discord. However, if not, I will continue as we are, as we float gently down the stream of life. You know, the first thing I ever wanted to become was a veterinarian, because animals are fucking cool. Aren't they? Oh no, we got another bot. You know what I did? I accidentally clicked on a random live stream I saw. And there were people in the live stream there commenting, and they said they were like connecting with friends. So anybody who wrote something in the chat section, they were literally gonna like sent bots to my page and like left me comments and stuff, and like my videos and whatnot. It's kind of weird. So I'm pretty sure that's what that's about. Now I get these bots. They're kind of annoying, but maybe they push the stream a little bit, so I think we'll forgive them. Hell yeah. Life is but a dream. And it being a dream, we need to... That's the thing too, like, you don't have to do anything with your life. Like, everybody's always telling you, like, you gotta become something, you got to accomplish something, but you don't have to do anything. It's okay, you don't have to do anything. But you do need money, you do need stored energy in order to survive, so might as well be something you enjoy. Ooh, they're following you. Look out, obliviously aware. They're behind you. They're behind you. Run. I'm pretty sure they're following us all. Lucky Frank was here for a while, but I haven't seen him. Lucky, if you're there, post something, bud. If Lucky Frank's here, I'm gonna give it my 1040% effort. 1040% effort! Let's talk about TV shows. What's everybody's favorite TV show? My favorite TV show ever, not like right now, but like ever, or something, you know, Kung Fu with David Carradine is, in my view, the greatest and best TV show that's ever been made. Master Po is a genius. Oh, he's still here. Oh, Lucky Frank's still here. Oh man, that changes everything. So Lucky Frank, if you haven't seen it, when you finish the stream, go check out, type in Kung Fu David Carradine and watch some clips. The basis of the story is essentially you have a Shaolin monk in China, and he kills a prince in China, and he has to run away because that prince killed his father, and he was overcome with emotion. Excuse me. He was overcome with emotion, and he killed the prince, so he had to run away to the west. So it's a Shaolin monk wandering around America during the early times in America, in the Wild West. And he gets into adventures, and he teaches people lessons. He helps people, he saves people, and he wanders around. And that's how I live my life. I've lived in, on multiple continents. I've helped many people. I've accomplished many things, and I've changed the world in my own way. As I hope I am right now with you, having a couple beers with my friends and sharing what wisdom I have gathered. So every day I watch an episode of Kung Fu because I have the access, if you will, to all the episodes. And almost every time I watch an episode, I cry, which I'm a boy, not supposed to cry. Oh, Frank, that's wonderful. Everybody has the thing that they need to do. So, get yourself a nice, cool glass of water, man. Some nice mint tea. Mint tea is my favorite. Whatever you have, and enjoy it. But yeah, so boys don't cry. But I cry when I watch that, because whenever there's something truly deep, it hits me so hard, because our world is so empty of deep, deep meaning, in that everybody's just trying to make money. And we need money, but life is so far beyond that in terms of complexity and meaning, and you can't obtain that just by getting money. It's far more complicated. Kung Fu is the perfect show for that. Oh, and that's the thing, like, of course you want to escape. Of course you want to escape. Because society doesn't give you anything of substance. McDonald's doesn't give you substance. Apple doesn't give you substance. Microsoft doesn't. And Amazon. No. There's no substance to be had. That's the whole point of why we're here, seeking substance. Something we can sink our teeth into. And Kung Fu does that. But keep in mind, like Kung Fu, we're talking about a monk here, a Shaolin monk. As he's wandering around, what does he carry with him? He has a pair of boots that he keeps. He has a blanket. He has a pouch where he keeps his gi for fighting if he needs it. And in his pouch he has his medicine, plants he's picked, and food. Plants for medicine, plants for food in his pouch. He carries with him a flute for creating beauty. He has his jacket his shirt, his pants, maybe underwear. Not entirely sure about that one. And a hat to protect him from the sun. That's all he has. That's all he carries with him. Maybe some money, only a little, and that's all he needs. At that time, if you were wise, you could get away with that. Now I need my technology. I got my tablet here. I need my phone. I got my e-ink tablet over here. I actually recently stopped using paper, so I got my e-ink tablet here. I do all my writing on this and my reading, so I don't have to carry all this stuff around. Books, heavy books, and I can write my do list. You guys can see my do list on there. I got things I need to do and whatnot. Paper's fine, but can't always find what I'm looking for. Yeah, but you guys can see my room is fairly bare. I got books I've collected over here, my bed, my lamp, my fan, all things you need, but I try to keep it simple so that I'm not stuck here. I can go anywhere. I can do anything if I really want to. And the things I own actually have value to me as tools, and also financially if I need to. Cool. Don't get me started on Disney. They're so That's right. When a girl tells me, when I ask a girl, what does she like to, what kind of art does she like? Like, what kind of entertainment? When she tells me, oh, I like Disney films, I slowly and carefully walk away. There are two favorite films that girls have that like Disney, and they are The Little Mermaid and The Beauty and the Beast. And I'd be more than happy to discuss the trauma of these films with you guys, but I think we have better things to discuss and just forget about it entirely. So, like taking out the blackbird from Dumbo. Maybe, Jim, you can explain that. I'm not sure what that means. I find as I get older, I find wisdom in doing things the old ways. Yes. That's right. That's right. Sometimes the old ways are the right ways, and I wouldn't even call them traditional ways. You know, the shaman, traditionally in the village, the shaman's job, well, the shaman was always a weirdo. The strange guy who was different from everyone, who had the gumption to try to understand nature itself. The first scientist, if you will. And he would go throughout the forest and try the different things. Oh, I'm a little sick here. Maybe that one's a bad one. This one has an interesting property. Maybe try that. You start to learn patterns. You start analyzing and learning patterns about things. Start to notice that there's certain plants that seem to do something. And you start to find out certain plants have properties that can affect the body in interesting, unique ways. And so you start to catalog these things, saving this knowledge architecturally for the tribe. Now, the shaman lives outside of the village, yet for some reason the village cares about his knowledge, partially because the shaman is doing things that the village is afraid of. He's going out and he's trying these different plants and seeing what they do, yet the village seems to care still even about these plants, because the people in the village, they get headaches, they get injured, and they need medicine and so forth, and they might even suffer mental illness and need support from the shaman. And you get a symbiosis of the courageous and intelligent and the wise with people living there in the village. Let me check out the comments here. Yes. A jack and some chain to remove a post, indeed. They call it, it was comedy. Oh, okay. Jim, you're going to have to expound on that. I'm not sure what that is. You know, exaggeration for comedic effect. Yes. That used to be okay. Yeah. You know, a lot of that issue really comes from the continued effect that, and I mean effect with an A, that we are purely individuals, but we're all human beings. Like, we gotta start thinking of ourselves as human beings. And then since I'm a human being and you're a human being, there's no reason why we can't get along and help each other. And that's not some kind of strange fantasy. It is the actual fact of the matter. And we've lost our way. But don't worry. We'll find our way back. Alright guys, I'm gonna grab my third beer back here really quick. Just take a second. All right. All right, well, we're filling up. I'm going to give you guys a good shot here as we fill her up. My Okinawan cup. Oh, what's this? Oh, I don't want to see this. Get out of there. Windows 10 is weird. All right, here we go. By the way, Frank, do not let this make you want to drink. That's not the point. That's not the point. I'm just showing the beauty of the liquid in the cup with the bubble design, and we're just enjoying it together. And I love this, like the foam with the blue that's really emphasized here. That's cool. Yeah, you know, any idea that society puts in your mind is wrong. Because if it is not your unique idea, if other people share that idea, then it's not yours. And then whose is it? Where does it belong? It belongs nowhere. Cheers to everyone. Lucky Frank, my good friend. Jim, my good friend and obliviously aware, thank you for joining us. I'm having a wonderful time. And I want to cheers to all you guys. Folks who are watching afterward, let me know how the audio sounds and all that. And appreciate you. Appreciate you. You know what? People don't say that enough. People don't say that they appreciate people enough. But I do. I appreciate you guys. I do. Not for being here, just as people who want to listen, who want to hear something, who want to learn and grow. I just cheers to you. Cheers. Beautiful. Right. You know, there are those who are exhausted with life. Just exhausted. And they don't know what to do next. Or how to be. But it's important to know, and I say this with love, that there is nowhere to be and there is nothing to do but what brings you joy. I think that's true. I think it is. Maybe it's the beer. Cheers again. And that means that we can do anything we want. We don't have to care. We don't what anyone thinks or how anyone feels about what we're doing, if to us it seems right. And we can be at peace with what we are doing and love what we're doing and have a good time. Yeah. And that's what I do. It works for me. It does. It works. You might think, what's this guy doing? Logic, you lost it, brah. Brah. Sorry, that's my Hawaiian coming out right there. Lived there for too many years. Brah, you're crazy. You're crazy, Logic. What do you mean? What are you talking about? It's very simple. With my body that I have, I can use it any way I choose. And you have a body too. Now, this is a very simple thing in that it sounds obvious, but it really isn't for people. Strange. But you have this body. It's yours to experience with. It's your space shuttle. It's your individual experiential substantial object. Cool. I just created a new phrase. And you can do with it what you want. Yeah. Now you can do things with it that make you feel bad, that make you like frustrated, maybe. Yeah. Like Frank is turning over a new leaf. This is my best wishes to him, in the sense that he's decided I'm gonna see what happens if I don't drink. I'm gonna see what happens if I don't smoke. And I'm gonna see what that feels like, and then I'm gonna push it and make the best out of myself. And that's good. That's good. It's very good. These things at the end of the day are all tools. If a tool isn't working, you can't use a wire cutter to screw in a corkscrew. Or you shouldn't. You should use a wrench, right? So it's all a matter of what tools do you need and are you using, and then implementing those tools as they are required for the job. But sometimes you get too used to the wire cutters. You know, I'm cutting wires on my guitar, tuning up my guitar. I'm like, where's my wire cutter? Oh, it's over here? Oh, wire cutter. I need my wire cutter. Sometimes you need a wrench. But it takes taking the wire cutter and putting it away in your box, closing it and locking it away, and then realizing, fuck, I should have been using a wrench. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna fill up again. Here we go. Perhaps I will even be smoking some philosophy medicine a bit here, if you guys hang out long enough. In fact, let me grab my jar. Maybe I can show it to you guys in the medicine and drink cam. Alright. I was having an issue with this before, because it's too dark in here to really... Yeah, can't really see it. Let me get a light. All right. Art is a very careful and intricate and ever-evolving and ever-transmutating thing. No. There we go. There we go. Not enough light in here to really show it completely, but got some CBD flower in there. I don't like getting high. I like the mellow, relaxed feeling of CBD. It has a very, very, very low THC amount. Yeah. Alright. An art project can seem like such an insignificant thing, but I think this is cool. Nice. Okay. Alright, we'll go back to our beer. Philosophy medicine for later. Cheers, everybody. There we go. Okay, let's check out the comments. A master mechanic told me once, or told me something, 1000% true. Every tool becomes a hammer. Wow. That is deep as fuck. Every tool becomes a hammer. That's right. Everything in life is a hammer. That is not a bad, very wise, philosophical understanding. All we need is a hammer. If I had a hammer. Do you guys know that song? If I Had a Hammer? I haven't listened to it in a while, so I couldn't sing it for you. When every problem boils down to a nail. Oh, indeed. In a way, every problem is a nail. If you really think deeply about it. That's true. Nothing wrong with hidden things with a wrench. You guys are great. You guys are great. Alright, well, I think it's time for another monologue. Let me check the Discord. That is open if you guys want to talk, but the stream doesn't need to be about that. I'm more than happy to talk and open my mind. So yesterday, my cat came to me, and my cat had something in its eye. It got something in its eye. It was like a hair or something like that. And my cat is not very old, like maybe a year tops. And this was the first time my cat actually got hurt. And my cat's a little ornery little bastard. So he fights with the other cat. Sleep tight, my friend. And I don't know if he got scratched across the eye or what, but he came to my door and he was just crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? What's going on out there? And my cat's just crying. And he had something in his eye. I thought he had like a rupture in his eye or a scratch of some kind. But he was fine in time, but boy, did he make a fuss about the whole thing. And I just felt so bad for this cat. I made a little bed for him on my bed here, and I sat him down, and I petted him and tried to calm him down, but he was just very upset. And time passed, and then he was fine. And then I remembered when I was young, when I was a kid, and when I got hurt my first time. And, we think that, pain is bad. I don't want to feel pain, but when you get hurt, that's your body telling you that this is something that could hurt you. And that capacity to be able to be aware that you're in pain is a gift, because it allows you to avoid future pain and to fix your body. Because in order for you to survive, your body has to be okay. Same goes for your mind. Your mind has to be okay. If you feel bad, if something is wrong, then your mind is trying to help you. Your mind is trying to tell you something. Your body is trying to tell you something. We have to listen. And if we do, and we understand, then we'll be okay. Nice. Cheers. Cheers to you, Lucky Frank. You still out there, my friend? And Jim. I'm going to read the comments in a second. Lucky Frank, if you got anything that you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. The loss of a nail was the loss of a shoe. Whoa. Was the loss of a horse was the loss of a man. Whoa. Was the loss of a king was the loss of a kingdom. Oh, man. Jim, did you make that up? Because that's deep as fuck. That's very good. That's very true. Yeah. It's like a butterfly effect. Like one thing influences and affects and condemns all. Everybody matters. Everything matters. Everything inter-influences. Everything is influenced. Deep, true, hardcore. Yeah, I think we got the gist of it. Beautiful. So Jim, do you have any deep questions? You have the opportunity to ask someone anything at all. The deepest bounce of your soul and cognitive essence can be it's a good story. I think I have a couple of other things I want to talk about, but first of all, cheers to everybody who's still here. And then Carpo should be coming soon, so maybe I'll chat with him for a bit. You know, like I mentioned, I had a cold this week. I didn't think I was going to be able to enjoy drinking. I'm on the end of it. I'm still a little congested, just barely. And so I feel like I'm in the clear to drink, so I am. And I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I'm actually starting to enjoy it on my third beer here. And I do think it's important just to drink once a week. Really let that in. And then I got my beautiful piece here. Not yet, but in a while. Sabertooth. Actually, you know what? I really do love this piece. It's got this little honeycomb. Can't really see it, can you? No. But it's got this honeycomb thing in here. Brings a bunch of bubbles through. Wish I had snow. That would be fabulous, wouldn't it? And then I had a piece for it for actual smoking, but I accidentally broke it. So I have my vaporizer. I'm just gonna stick it in here and vaporize, which is supposed to be healthier anyway for my CBD. Yeah, I used to get like high as fuck when I was like younger, but I'm cool with CBD now. And very interesting. On the 26th, I will be doing a stream where I plan to do psychedelics live. Just like this, with maybe a couple of accoutrements, maybe a little change here and there. But I'm going to either buy some bud or buy some pre-made consumables for THC and then take those. So I'm going to be very lucid. And I plan to go live, Logic Church, with some psychedelic stuff. And I'll share with you guys as it happens and what's going on as well. Hey, cheers everybody. Appreciate you. All right. Check out the comments. It's an old story. Indeed it is. The oldest story there is. Okay, how do men and women fix things without tearing down the government? Okay, continue, we shall. Because obviously, after 2 years of nonsense, people are sick of the government interfering with our lives. How do men and women fix things without tearing down the government? How do men and women fix things without tearing down the government? It's really hard to bind those two things together. So I would say that rather than that as a basis, I would say that the point is people are not doing philosophy. Like, they don't try to understand things at a deep level, like really understand things at a deep level, and instead they go with what's popularly told to them is important. And the government, as an entity that supports capitalist enterprises that support these things, tells people that what they're saying is important, which is that the most important thing you can do in life is make money. Whereas for me, it's art, music, philosophy. So you can understand why I don't agree with that. So you're wondering, how can men and women fix things? You have to understand that historically and traditionally, if that's what you mean, I'll finish what I'm saying, then I'll get to that. So historically, it was men that did all the hunting. You got to get meat. You need fat in order to survive in the forest, in the jungle, and so forth. So that means, and the best way to get that is from animals. So women have always sought after men who can get the most food and who are the best hunters. So in a capitalist society, women only want the men who are the best hunters, who can get the most food. But as the capitalist society overcomplicates itself, and as the wealth dissipates from the middle and lower class up to the upper class, capacity for men in general to provide food is a lot more difficult. But it doesn't need to be, because that's not actually true. Men can still hunt for food. Men can still provide food But women have confused food with money. But humanity itself has fallen into that illusion. But women have fallen into that a lot deeper, I believe. So I think that can be remedied. But also, I don't really have any interest in women or men, but just living and doing philosophy and making music. That's my thing. The government dictates the laws of marriage and divorce, so the government is a bad actor in this situation. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. First of all, marriage doesn't exist. Marriage is a piece of paper with ink. So you may believe in it, but it's not really there. And you might go to a church or stand on a beach and say a few words. And you might believe that that makes you married. But it doesn't. Sounds out of your mouth makes you married. An old book with an old man, a very studied old man who got a degree as a religious studies or whatever, granting you marriage. Unlikely. Yeah. So I don't believe in marriage. I don't think marriage is a thing. I don't think people do it. And that being said, I have a lot of respect for people who are willing to work and endure and sacrifice for their families. I don't understand it because for me, I think there are other things that are more important than doing that. Because I think if we work together and help each other and really build this out, then we don't have to rely on sacrifice anymore. It is then just people doing things and helping each other. That's what I would like things to become. Yeah. But if you want to get married, that's cool. I personally just don't like belonging to someone. And I don't believe that people can own other people. Like, for example, a little bit of a party foul. Just a second here. Party fouls happen. Whew, covering up my party foul. Alright, let me see if I can get back to my topic. Okay. Let's see here. That's another one. A magistrate can marry a couple. If you desire a divorce, you have to go to the next level of court. At least that's how it is here. Yeah. Well, I just don't see the importance in getting married. Well, okay, so from a philosophical perspective, I don't see the importance of it. However, if you do get married, there is a whole industry of lawyers and courts and so forth. They'll be more than happy to take you on for years, even perhaps, taking your money so that you can get divorced, you know. I think if two people love each other, respect each other, and trust each other, then they can stay together. And they don't need a piece of paper. And they don't need a priest to tell them that they are together. And they can be and have kids and treat each other well. And I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Cheers. Jim, how many beers deep are you, my friend? Cheers to you. I actually saw Dozang saying games on True's channel the other day. I should have said something to him. I should have said we miss you here, because we do. Because he's a cool guy. All right, well, I actually have something in mind. So I'm going to get my favorite book, and I'm going to share a little bit with you guys about, Marcus Aurelius is my favorite philosopher. I'm going to share a few words, and we can talk about that. And it will enlighten you. It will. I'll be right back. All right. Let's get this going. All right. I'm going to move my guitar a little bit. I'm going to tilt here. Okay. All right, first of all, cheers to everybody. We're going to be reading, let me see if I can get this, put this down. Let's see. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, perhaps one of the greatest books ever. It's not necessarily a book, it's the diary of Marcus Aurelius. It was never meant to be published. Just so happened that somebody saved it after he died, and so it ended up being published. But cheers one more time. Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and unsocial. All these things happen by reason of their ignorance of what is good and what is evil. But I, who have seen the nature of the good, that it is beautiful, and of the bad, that is ugly, in the nature of him who does wrong, that it is akin to me, not only of the same blood or seed, but that it participates in the same intelligence and the same portion of divinity I can neither be injured by any of them, for no one can fix on me what is ugly, nor can I be angry with my kinsmen, nor hate them. For we are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows over the upper and lower teeth. To act against one another, then, is contrary to nature, and it is acting against one another to be vexed and to turn away. Deep. That's some good stuff. That's right. Yeah, people will do things, and we might be turned away. And it might make us feel bad, but, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. I mean, that's the simplest way to say it, right? But we got to keep on keeping on. But also, you have to expect and understand that people will do things that make you feel bad, that they will be envious and deceitful and manipulative. But what I mean is, not everyone, but some people will do that. And that's okay if they do, because that is what they're doing. And that they have the capacity for that. But you also know that there are those who don't. That's one thing Marcus Aurelius doesn't say, that there are people who don't do that. And that's true. So to expand on that verse, we can, instead of feeling that way completely, keep in mind Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, so he was up there with the greatest of psycho and sociopaths. So of course he was high on that. People suck business. But us down here, on the soil of the earth, we can meet people who are not like that. And we can embrace them, enjoy them, and find peace. Cheers. You still drinking, Jim? What a great stream. We encountered many good friends. I think we're gonna go a bit longer. We're gonna hang in there. I'm gonna drink this one and then my last beer, and then I think we'll call it. But we got a while until we get there. Yeah. But the thing is, if you are a sociopath, see, here's the thing. Normally,